Two rums from Flor de Caña go head to head.
Which one's better?
Let's get drinking.
Today, going head to head, we have the Flor de Caña 12-year, which we've had before and we liked, and the Flor de Caña 18-year. We're going head to head to see if the 18-year is better, see if it's worth the extra money, or if it's great just to stick with the 12-year.
All right, so Flor de Caña, this is a rum from Nicaragua. The company was actually founded by this Italian from Genoa, Alfredo Canessa. He founded this distillery, I believe it was like 130, 160 years ago, and it was at the base of the Cristobal volcano. So a lot of their whole story is like it's the volcanic ash in the soil and all this stuff where the sugar's grown. So in our wine glasses we have the 12-year, but let's actually just kind of get a comparison look here. They look roughly the same for color. 6 years doesn't bring out anything, maybe a little bit darker, but I don't even know if that's just a mind trick.
To me, they look virtually indistinguishable.
Yeah. Let's give a nose to the 12. Now that is just big molasses flavor, good vanilla, a bit of ripe fruit, almost a bit of apple there. There's some freshness to it.
Like an overripe apple in a good way.
Let's give it a taste, shall we? I remember liking this.
Yeah, that's very nice.
I remember.
I think we recently tried the RL Seal 10-year. I think this is like a half step up from that. It's very similar.
I would go so far as to say it's a whole, if not 1.5 steps up from that.
I would agree.
This doesn't have the heat of that. This one doesn't really have the burn. This also has a bit more smoothness and complexity to the flavor.
I find the flavor profile is almost like this laser beam from front to back.
Yeah.
There's no big swell of flavor or anything. It's just consistent, like right through to the end.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying. After a second sip, more complexity, smoother, a little bit of heat on the end.
I'm glad you brought up the comparison with that rum, with the Seal rum, because one of the other differences in flavor I taste is that one didn't have a very obvious barrel flavor to it. This, you taste the barrel a lot more.
Yeah, the oak,
which is very
the oak
pleasant,
is on it,
yes.
yeah. But it's well rounded, it's incorporated well. Sometimes with oak age, you just kind of like, the oak slaps you in the face after you get the rum.
So real quick, what do we think out of 10?
I'd give it a solid 8.5, 8.75.
I think I'm more like 8. What about you?
Yeah, I'd give it an 8. Great.
Let's go to the 18-year.
So we already talked about the colors, let's get a nose. There is a difference. The 12 is lighter and this one is just...
Whoa, it's heavy and like barrel.
Yeah, and not in a bad way. The barrel on these, they blend it very well in.
Yeah.
It's so complex, so huge. It's just so well-rounded.
Yeah.
Very spicy.
There's like a hint of a tobacco in there that I love. Let's try it out.
Let's try it out. Immediately... more like heavier mouthfeel. It's more chewy than the 12-year.
Earthy, well-rounded, a little bit of smoke.
This one finishes really nicely, and it just has this great complexity between tinge of sweetness from the molasses, and then the barrel comes in with the spiciness, a bit of smoke, a bit of, like you were saying, the earthiness, and ends very, very well. It's not dry, but it doesn't taste like syrup going down.
No.
So, yeah. If I gave the other one 8.5, this I think is a 9.95 for me.
I would agree. I think 9.95 is fair.
Yeah, I would give it a 9. I gave the other one an 8. This is definitely a 9. The flavor is definitely bigger. This takes what this does and cranks it up a notch. It's interesting to me with this comparison, because when we did the El Dorado and we tried the 12-year versus the 15-year, now it's different. This is 18, not 15. That was a lot more neck and neck. So it was like, clearly just get the El Dorado 12-year because it's basically the same. Mm-hmm. This one definitely clear advantage to the 18-year, but now we got to ask, how much more are we paying for the 18-year? Is it worth it to get the better rum experience? Because we definitely like the 12-year a lot. So what price are we looking at?
12-year is 35 to 45, and the 18-year is 45 to 55. So only about a $10 difference. I would say it's worth it.
For $10, that's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say you're not going to be disappointed with the 12-year. The 12-year is great as a sipping rum, and at the lower price point, and because it's not as thick and complex, it gives you a little bit of versatility if you wanted to mix it. But if you just want a sipping rum and you just want that complexity, I think you gotta spend the extra $10 for the 18-year.
It doesn't hit you over the head with flavor, and I think that's what would pair nicely with like a medium-bodied cigar. You take a puff, take a sip, it would be heaven on earth.
All right, so 18 year, definitely the clear favorite here, but 12 year is no slouch. We recommend both of these Flor de Caña rums. Thanks for joining us for this rum review. Join us again for another one very soon, won't you?